All right, I think we live. What's going on, everybody? Man, I got some special guests in the building. Man, appreciate y'all for sliding through. We got Roberto Conspiracy Files, and we got Donut Factory in the building. Dwayne running a little late. He gonna slide in a little later, but appreciate y'all for coming through, man. How y'all feeling?
Pretty
Man, I'm
good. Thank you
feeling good.
so
I'm
much.
happy to be on the channel. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on here and do stuff like this. It's very good for the community. And
Yeah, I'm
thank
so
you for having
grateful
us
to
on the
be
channel.
here. Yeah.
Man, I'm grateful for y'all coming through because I literally just said something yesterday on my community post. Like, man, we need to just like come through and come together and like bring our communities like together. And next day, here we are. So I appreciate y'all for that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love your channel, bro. Like the whole Andrew Tate, where you went in on him and decoding that was fabulous. So I recommend anybody from my channel to subscribe to both Roberto. People know Roberto on my channel though for
yeah.
already.
It's something I don't know what it is, but I love y'all backgrounds for some reason. It's just like you got little lights back there, and you all get like your
Yeah.
little cats around. Like I
Oh
love that
God.
shit. The little details, like I pay attention to like little details in the background. I'm loving the fan over there because you see my room. I got like a million
On
fans in there.
me. Hey, I gotta
Like
have
the
that
donut,
fan.
you look, you got the donut in the background, the donut name in the background. Like that makes a big difference. Then you got I'm in my kids' room, so all you see is a camera behind
Hey,
me.
hey, it get that real feel. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it does. It does, especially when it's like kind of a little darkish and it makes the video.
Hmm.
You know what's funny
But
is like I've did video production for years for other YouTubers, hip hoppers, like big channels. So I know how to do like the professional stuff, but the frustrating thing is the more low budget you go, like the more viral it goes because it's more real than like a CNN high produced 60 minutes video.
yeah, I think that's because people feel like you're is more realistic than like when it's so well put together. It seems staged as if they planned this out. But when it's
Yeah.
kind of just like straight up, little low budget camera, a little fuzzy microphone cut in and out every now and then. They kind of like you do. That's your best video. Then you put all that effort into it. You like, damn, 20 views.
Oh God. Yeah, it's
But yeah,
organic.
I
They
think
love organic.
yeah.
Yeah, reminds me of the Cloverfield. If you've seen that movie, Cloverfield.
It's been a while, but yeah, Andrew Tate's been everywhere, man. I can't even I can't go anywhere without seeing his face. It's crazy how the industry just pushes people out there.
Out
Like
of
the dude
nowhere
came out of
too.
nowhere, literally nowhere. I didn't know who he was a couple months ago, and the next thing I know, I'm like, who the fuck is Andrew Tate? Like, I had to go Google him to figure out who he was. I'm like, the dude really just like came out of nowhere. It's just crazy, and like it happens right before our eyes how they just push on us, and that's all you hear about now. Now he's like the talk of the town. I mean, probably eventually he'll die off, but this popularity boost he has right now is crazy. It is crazy.
Right. I
Nah.
think it's a part of memetic warfare. Like the military looks into memes strategically for mind control. I wouldn't say a subtle form of mind control. It's like magical rituals with sigils. So think about all the powerful people. They're using memes. You got Elon Musk, right? He's known to do memes. And Andrew Tate is like
Yeah.
a walking meme. He's a big meme. And the thing about this simulacrum, simulation, matrix, all the people under mind control, everybody's coming up to me and bringing up Andrew Tate. People that don't listen to stuff like that, people that listen to stuff like that. So when everybody's talking about it, that there's some sort of spell that's being casted.
Yeah.
I agree because when somebody like even like you said the people that hate him, you're talking about him. He's on your mind. Like it's some form of control for everybody to be focused on one individual so much. Like regardless of how much you don't want to talk about him or see him, you're under that mind control when he crosses your mind and you start bringing him up and you start wondering about this, wondering about that, and then his personality kind of reminds me of God, I can't think of the dude's name. It was just on my head.
Donald
They
Trump.
they, they no, not that. I mean, he, he says it what it's on his mind. But
Yeah, and he rose the power too with the sigil magic of Pepe the Frog too.
and then you have
And it seemed
his
no, go
brother,
ahead.
his brother too, which I didn't even know it was two of them at first. I thought it was just one, and they kind of act just alike. And I seen a thing where people were saying that that's not his real brother, and they, it's this all one person, and like for him not to be out as long as he has, it's a lot of conspiracies about him, a lot of question marks, a lot of things that you question about. And normally it takes a while for people to settle into the industry, for people to question that stuff, but right off the gate, there's so much stuff about him that just jumps out at you. And I feel like a lot of this is intentional too, because of who he is and how they're trying to push him out there. It's just like, usually when people go, it takes a good year before people start, realizing rituals they're doing and stuff like that. But him, it's like it's already there. Like he just came in the industry doing the obvious that we're used to seeing. Because sometimes you have to think about, like, is this person really a puppet, or is this a real person out here that just made it and they're trying to stay away from the industry? But like he already was thrown out there with his soul gone. And I feel like they intentionally do this a lot. They push these people on us, and it's mind control. Like people are so obsessed with him to the point where you can't go anywhere without talking about him. He has a video bragging about how many channels are talking about him. Like even us talking about him now, he has like he's literally bragging about
Yeah.
people, talking about him. Like he loved the attention. He loved the attention. I think that was the whole purpose, to see if this formula works to control people. And I feel like this formula is working, because you got a lot. I think more people love him than hate him. Like more people love him than hate him. That's part of the mind control thing.
And it seemed like they setting him up just like they did Donald Trump, because Donald Trump got his house raided, then Andrew Tate got his house raided, and then they made the point to make sure you knew that Andrew Tate was like a strong Trump supporter. And then remember when Donald Trump got his Twitter, he got his Twitter deleted. And now what just happened with Andrew Tate? He got his Facebook and his Instagram deleted. It's like they set up these characters, like it's like they gotta give you like a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Because like most of the people, they gonna be like, oh man, like he's so real, like Facebook, Instagram, they banning him. So you'll think that that person is really like on your side, but really a machine is behind them. Like Instagram don't ban you, they just delete your account and you got to start over.
Yeah,
So you already know it's a machine behind these people, and they just trying
Right.
to give you that image.
that is
Right. I
true,
like
because
to
it
look
makes
at that chronological order too of what's going down and how his rise to power happened. And it makes me think of who was the person in his shoes before, and in the manosphere. And I was like, Kevin Samuels, right? And he mysteriously died, Kevin Samuels, from a heart attack. The dude was super healthy, blowing up, right? Getting rich, making money. And then he just heart attack. And the CIA got weapons for heart attacks. And there's a thing called
yeah.
COINTELPRO where they hijack movements for it to move in a certain direction. And this is well declassified. And that's kind of where I'm leaning towards, is looking into, but I don't have all the information yet. But that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, when I had made the video about Andrew Tate, and I was talking about he was put here to replace somebody, everybody said Kevin Samuels, Kevin Samuels. That's immediately. Anytime somebody blown up, they're trying to replace his podcast or something with somebody else. And all I heard, all in the comment section, was Kevin Samuels, Kevin Samuels, Kevin Samuels. And just like you said, he was healthy. He was young. I mean, he's 50 something, but that's still young. He's healthy. He wasn't like all beat up. Like it's crazy how quick things happen. And just like you say, his rise to power. Like, and then they do things to make people feel like he's genuinely hated by the elites. They're deleting his Instagram and stuff like that. This is all part of, them pushing him. It makes people want to attach to him more. Like, oh, they had to delete his Instagram channel because he was speaking the truth and stuff like that. That's what it makes people think. When in reality, this is all part of their plan. Oh, this is what helps push them. This is part of the push. And then you just like somebody's talking about Alex Jones, Infowars. We see what happened with him, with him going to court, sued for all that money, 42 million, for saying the St. Hook shooting was staged and stuff like that. And we all know there's crisis actors everywhere. everywhere. I've been saying this for a long time. They pay people to do. You see, a lot of times they have these shootings where you see somebody that died in the Boston bombing, and then you see them in the Sandy Hook shooting. You're like, well, didn't they die? But a lot of times our brains don't process. When we see somebody die, they're not somebody famous, you don't think anything of it. So if I see somebody seen Donut, and oh, he was in a big old robbery with robbed the White House or something like that. And then next thing you know, somebody's breaking in Trump house. It's the same guy, but don't notice that because of how our brains don't process people that aren't celebrities or not big name people. So a lot of time they use these same crisis acts, and then they get called out on it. You end up getting accused of being insane, crazy, and stuff like that. The industry has a way of controlling the narrative and how people think and how they view things. And if they can't control you, they'll control how people view you. And that's when they start destroying you.
The narrative was totally different. Kevin Samuel's narrative, because he was actually trying to bring relationships together in a way. And Andrew Tate's narrative, I don't listen to Andrew Tate, so I don't really know. But what I hear is that he's very like, nah, like I heard the messages are totally different. One is like no relationship and one is relationship. And what I'm coming to find out with the whole Illuminati agenda is all about divide and conquer. And what's the biggest divide and conquer is man versus woman.
And so you think that's why they killed Kevin Samuels off and gave you this new character?
I think so. Right now, that's what I think.
Yeah, because it was a little strange. Like when Kevin Samuels died, it's just like sometimes you don't expect certain people to just die. You wake up and you're like, whoa, Kevin Samuels. Just like when Kobe Bryant died, it's like, whoa, where did this come from? Like it's just out of nowhere. Some people we see die, you're like, okay, we kind of seen that coming. Rapper talking about shooting all the time, this or that. But then you see somebody like Kevin Samuels dying, and then the way he did die, it wasn't like he was stabbed by a woman or something like that. It was just he had a heart attack. Like, come on, like some of these deaths they don't make sense. It's real like random. And then he was pushing a certain completely the opposite of Andrew Tate. Like Andrew Tate is pushing one thing, he's pushing the other thing. They're trying to replace Andrew. They want to replace him with somebody that fits more of their narrative. And I say this is even down in politics. They do this. If you're a leader, Trump probably one of them hated. All politicians are corrupt. I'll tell you this now. But some politicians, they have more control over than others. Just because you're controlled by them doesn't mean you're going to make your own decisions sometimes. And I feel like this is what happened with Donald Trump. This is part of the reason he got pushed out of office. He eventually stopped trying to follow the narrative. And because he's a control freak, he wanted to do things his way. And they started clashing. So they removed him from office by making him lose the election. We all know elections are rigged. They're going to put whoever they want in there. No such thing as voting. When you go out and vote, you're just going out to waste your time. You're trying to make it seem like it's one thing. They're going to put who they want in place. Joe Biden's probably going to get replaced too because he's, it's too many flaws with him that the people don't like. And if he was to win the election, they're going to feel like, okay, something's wrong because he has all this hate. The same hate that Trump was getting, Joe Biden's getting. The media just covering it up. They're trying to make it look one way instead of another. And I feel like the industry has a way of picking who they want. If they can't control you or you're to the point where you can't be controlled, they'll remove you. And they'll do anything to tarnish your character. And that's what we see a lot when it's politics, celebrities, football players, basketball players. Normally with athletes, it's some kind of sexual assault allegations or something like that. But they would destroy your character if you can't control you or you're not following the rules of law that they apply.
And that's why I think that they pushing like the red pill so much, because if you actually look at the people that like speak about like red pill, they don't fully like detach. They still like preaching politics. They still preaching like, the red pill, you support the red party. And it's like you still playing into like the psyop, you still playing into it. And I feel like that's why like they put guys like Andrew Tate and all these guys that push that red pill, because they keeping the agenda going and not really like talking about stuff like how we talk about it.
Right. Totally going to a political side. Like, oh, here, look, we're going to wake up the truth. Just join this political fraction that's already controlled. Like it's total BS for sure.
Yeah, and that's crazy because every celebrity somehow anybody that's blown up in this, they always find a way to bring up politics. Like politics wasn't a thing. Like it's crazy now how popular they made politics now. 10 years ago, majority of 19-20-year-olds can name one senator in the country. You know what the hell a
Right.
senator was. Now you got people can tell you congressmen, congresswomen, senators, like they popularize politics to because that's part of ultimately those are the people that control, these celebrities. They always make these celebrities pick a party. It always happens. It never fails. When you're coming up in the world, you're gonna either be the red or the blue. Is no in
Yeah.
between. They're gonna make you pick a side and you're gonna push that side. And it's all about division. As long as they can keep us divided, if they got Andrew Tate over here on the red side, the next upcoming person is gonna be on the blue side. And why? Because the people that follow this person is gonna be divided on this side, and the people that follow this person are gonna be divided on that side. And that's how they keep division within people, because you control people, they don't work together. If me and you are if all of us were in here trying to attack each other, guess what our supporters are going to do? They're going to pick a side, and now they're all divided. You're going to have people, no matter what you do wrong, your supporters are going to follow you because they don't want you to look bad. Even if they know it's wrong, it's not making sense, they're going to support you, and they're going to stay divided. And if they're divided, guess what? You can always control them because they'll never come together. The numbers are much smaller, and that's ultimately what politics is about. And that's why they control these celebrities the way they do. They make you pick a side.
Right. The celebrities are totally part of the agenda because they're mystics and they're using Edward Bernays propaganda, use the actors to push cigarettes for women, to bring in whatever. And they're still just doing that today. It's all mind control. So, like Kim Kardashian, what she's doing with body modifications is just the simulacrum giving us an ideal image to imitate. So, you got artists that pick political sides. You got Kid Rock, who's for the red pill. And then you got Eminem, let's say, who's for the blue pill. And I was looking at Eminem's stuff a little bit, how his name's Marshall Mathers and Eminem is, the 33 is in the Eminem, like the 33rd Mason. And even the Eminem, you put it sideways, it's a 33. Samuel Mathers is the guy who created the Golden Dawn, and that plays a big part of the music industry. Ciara had the Golden Dawn on her. You see Jay-Z with the Aleister Crowley connection. Aleister Crowley got kicked out of the Golden Dawn to do some wild stuff. But Samuel Mathers sounds a lot like Marshall Mathers. And is there a connection there? The Golden Dawn plays a huge part in this music industry. And Eminem created in a lab, right, in Dre's lab, to push whatever it is, because his Infinite album is totally different than anything when he got connected with Dre. And his Marshall Mathers LP, he's on 3 steps. And this is kind of just what I've been looking at lately. He's on 3 steps, which is like the 3 degrees of initiation in the Blue Lodge. How there's the red pill, the blue pill. Somebody said that in the comment. The Blue Lodge of Freemasonry, you got the 3 steps. Even Kanye in the Donda ritual, it's just something I noticed, a little pattern. He walked down to the 3rd step with Marilyn Manson, who's a known Freemason, and he wears the Knights Templar ring. And then someone posted in a comment saying they're trying to feminize men, masculinize women, and they go through these initiation rituals. And I think there's 7 of them because a lot of cults and religions all throughout the time, even going back to Mithraism, there was 7 stages of initiation because they're just taking stuff from the ancients and just redoing it in their own ways. But wearing the dress, I believe that's just an initiation ritual to get to a certain stage. And Pete Davidson was wearing the dress at Met Gala, and he got awarded with Kim K, Ariana Grande. All these people have Miley Cyrus. They all have some weird connection to this stuff. And then Pete Davidson just recently got the Knights Templar double X on his neck.
I seen that when you were talking about, one of your videos. I think it was in his thumbnail too, something like that. But yeah, just like you were saying with the dress thing, like some of this stuff, it has to be done for like a promotion to the next level. Like I don't know who it was. I think it might have been Dave Chappelle that was talking about, in order to move up in Hollywood as a male, you have to wear a dress. you have to wear a dress. You notice most males in Hollywood have played a role where either they were a female, they were in a dress, like white chicks for Marlon Wayne's Martin would play Big Mama. Like it's always some kind of role, and these are actors that end up being huge. Like they're, even if they don't act anymore, we're gonna know who they are until the day we die because they made that impact, and they have those movies that have a long-standing impact in society. And that's why a lot of times, every now and then, Hollywood has to sacrifice some kind of big producer that fell off, a director that fell off years ago, like Harvey Weinstein, that's been touching, raping people for years, or sexually harassing. This goes on a lot in Hollywood, and not just with females. These are males that are being part of these rituals too, being humiliated, but they have to not so obvious. And just like a lot of people said, these actors and actresses said, a lot of times the police in these counties and stuff like that know everything that's going on, but they don't do anything about it. Because why? They're controlled and they're part of the cycle of Hollywood. Hollywood is more than just the celebrity side. It's a big cult. It's a big cult with just, from the politicians to the officers to the celebrities, the people behind the scenes. There's a lot that goes into it. Everybody works, and in order for Hollywood to function the way it does, everybody has to work together, and that's how you have complete control. And a lot of times these actors, in order to get big, they have to make these sacrifices. And if they don't make these sacrifices, they can't just go around to the police like, hey, I was sexually harassed by this big time millionaire director that's worth 800 million. They're not going to do nothing to him, because why? They're on his payroll. Everything's part of this cycle. So a lot of times they either have to do these rituals or they get thrown to the side, and then they no longer have a career. We've seen a lot of actors go from, going up the food chain real high, and then they just fall off completely. That's because they didn't accept that role of, either giving it up to whoever the director was, whether you're a guy, sleeping with another male or a female, whatever. Even down to like some of the small time actors who were, didn't necessarily make a name for themselves, but they went from being small to huge overnight. Like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was in the industry for a long time. People don't even realize Kevin Hart was around for a long time before he came Kevin Hart. And he was playing like in little low budget movies, but eventually he had that sacrifice. And next thing you know, Kevin Hart's the biggest comedian, probably one of the biggest comedians in history. Like he just blew up I'm not gonna say overnight, but overnight, because like he's been in the industry this long. How did he just randomly blow up to be who he was? That's because he made one of those sacrifices. We start seeing him in dresses. We start seeing him in movies where guys are touching on him. He's acting like it's a joke. Like even from little skits he does, he made the ritual sacrifice. Like he made this. He signed that contract to basically be one of their bitches, if that's what you want to call it, because that's what all it boils down to. Hollywood. Complete control. And they have these ritual ceremonies, and this is what Alex Jones, the one that got sued for all that money, you remember he snuck into what is it called?
Grove, I think it was.
Yeah, he got video footage, but this happens a lot. It's not just that, but this happens. There's a lot of rituals that go on like this, like with blood sacrifices. Like people think when you say blood sacrifice, there really are blood sacrifices, and then they make movies about these things that are literally real stories. Like we may not think it's a real based on a true story because the movie doesn't say that, but when they give us these movies like Get Out and stuff like that, they're telling us something. That movie is really telling a story. They're not just creating these stories out of nowhere. These things are normally, when we create some kind of movie or something, this is off something that we've experienced. Most of the things that we talk about stuff experience, whether it's from us watching cartoons when we grow up, if it's something that's just crazy and wacky, or something that people are really experiencing and seeing. You don't just create things in your imagination without actually having not seen it before or done it before. So a lot of these movies are telling us something that's going on right now. And a lot of people don't know there's a lot of rituals that go on around the world, not just in America, but other countries too. Most of the attention is always focused on America. And some of the biggest rituals go on outside of the country, because it's obvious stuff goes on in America. It's too obvious here. The biggest rituals do not happen in America. I tell people that all the time. The biggest rituals happen outside of America.
Yeah, and even in Switzerland, like every year, the World Economic Forum, they literally have a big meeting with people that have nothing to do with economics. They got Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, like all these actors and actresses to talk about what direction they're taking, like economically with the world, and they're literally talking about one digital currency. What the fuck is John Legend doing there? He has
Yeah.
nothing to do, but you see like what's really going on. It's one big family, and everybody's playing their role. Everybody playing their part.
Yeah, Switzerland is interesting, and the predictive programming of movies. Switzerland, isn't that where CERN is located too?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
So like they just fired up CERN, and that's crazy with the portals and all that, and the predictive programming of Stranger Things, having it Russia against America, bringing back those things, and we're seeing a lot of nuclear stuff right now. So this is interesting. What I've been looking into that I haven't talked about on YouTube yet. But the Manhattan Projects was a secret society of 100,000 people to create the atomic nuclear boom. And if you look at the logo, it's a Freemasonic Royal Arch logo. And when they did their meetings, it was at Bohemian Grove, where Alex Jones was broke into. And now he's being fined for the $150 million or something like that, right? And I think that has the 5-1 in it, which is the day the Illuminati was founded. So this 5-1 or 15 in reverse been showing up all year long. It's wild how much, like Johnny Depp, who has the Knights Templar ring, the double cross, the 2 X's that was gifted by Marilyn Manson. He won $15 million in his court case, and he's known for the Pirates of the Caribbean, which is Skull and Bones, which goes into the Caribbean where Epstein's at as well. And so the predictive programming happening now is New York got this PSA that there's like nuke stuff going off. Go inside. There's a whole, it's like history repeating itself. Dunk underneath your desk and you're going to be okay. And there's this theory of Project Bluebeam, where it'll be a holographic alien invasion. And I'm starting to think that maybe that won't happen. And what it will be is this holographic nuclear type event to happen, because they got weaponry where they can pretty much do like a nuclear kind of situation with no fallout, with laser weapons and whatnot. So where it gets interesting with holograms, alien invasion, and this nuclear stuff going on, the Manhattan Project, who built the A boom boom, I'm trying not to say certain words, the A boom.
Please don't get me taken down.
That ended in 1946. John Trump, who is Trump's uncle, who took all of Tesla's information, who was creating time traveling stuff, weird weaponry as well. He got all of that information. And 1946, he went back to work at MIT. Then you got David Bohm, who brought the holographic universe ideas really to the foreground. And he was a protege of Einstein. This holographic reality that you hear David Icke talk about a lot. They've done a lot of scientific type research where maybe this is a hologram that we're in. And there's some really wild studies that kind of prove that. Anyway, the Manhattan Project was really helped out by people like David Bohm, people who were working on holograms during this time. And then right when the Manhattan Project ended in 1946, 1947 is when holograms were invented. The holography stuff was invented. So right after that project. So you got all these people working with hologram technology with this. So I'm thinking maybe it's not an alien thing. More people, I think, will believe a nuclear thing, a holographic nuclear thing, than an alien thing right now. So
and I think they showing that to us because I went on Instagram and it was a video of Kendrick Lamar on stage. And then they was like, he just disappeared. Like on the stage.
Right.
You seen that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like y'all niggas paid to see a hologram. Like literally, it was a hologram like right in front of y'all. That wasn't no magic. He didn't just disappear. They just turned him off. He was never there.
Yeah,
right. And then you got the Tupac hologram, and then the Pope being a hologram too,
Right.
in those videos.
Holograms are
that's
really becoming, really becoming a big thing now. It's crazy how quick society changes, like with CGI and holograms and all this stuff like that. Like you'll think somebody's there and they're really not there. Um, just even from, I think a lot of times, even with the like with people dying and stuff like that. So a lot of times we'll see a hologram, like, oh, this celebrity was in a car accident. It's a hologram. It's not really them, because when you see things on TV, it's hard to say who was actually there. A lot of times it's in weird locations, like somebody got in that car accident in Idaho, a celebrity, like who was that part? Nobody's there. They got a population like 200,000. Like it's hard to even actually put your finger on it. I think a lot of these celebrities that fake their deaths, it's been, and holograms been around for years. It's gotten more popular now, but it's been around for years. I feel like a lot of celebrity deaths were due to holograms. They didn't actually die, but they used the hologram uh as the sacrifice, so we'll think that celebrity dead, because you benefit a lot off somebody dying. If they're especially like rappers and stuff like that, you benefit a lot off of them dying. I think a lot of times we've seen a lot of holograms die, not the actual person die. And I think it's gonna be a thing in the future too. Like even as far as like, just like say guys, Kendrick Lamar's show, for them to make more money and for the label to make more money, you can have them in 5 different places at one time. You got a hologram there. And the holograms look so real. Most of the time, some people, a lot of places, a lot of people won't even know it's an actual hologram. They'll think it's the real person if they don't come off stage. As somebody as big as Kendrick Lamar, they're in the arena. They're not actually at a club or something like that where you have to physically be there because people are right in front of you. These holograms look real, and these people sometimes they're so brainwashed when they go inside these arenas, because I feel like they always put something in the air to brainwash people, so you don't realize you're watching a hologram. You think you're watching the real thing until you find out you're on the internet and you see videos like this where it's talking about holograms and how he just disappeared, and you start thinking about it like, damn, he really just disappeared off stage like that. I thought he walked out, because you're brainwashed. And it all boils down to, like you said, mind control. Like mind control is everywhere. It's not just in small, like certain areas. Mind control is really like everywhere. It's been around for so long. Like I was looking at how the CIA was conducting little mind control experiments on prison inmates, and how one of the dudes they was doing mind control on, he got out to be a part of the mafia. He ended up being a real big part of the mafia, and the mind control had him so messed up from when he was in prison. He didn't have no fear, like he didn't experience pain or none of that, because they had tortured him so much in the mind control. Like they basically tried to drive him to the point where they wanted to see how he would act, would he feel emotions if he killed people. And that's how when he got out, he ended up being part of the mafia, because he didn't have any emotions. When he did things because of the mind control they put on him, it had a long-term effect. So when he got out, he was killing people. He ended up being he ended up working for the feds. He ended up being an informant, and he got the Italian mafia knocked off because he wanted to be the head man of the city. So he became an informant and got a lot of them knocked off. They didn't, long story short, they didn't catch him till like 60 years later. He was like 80 something years old, living in some apartment in California, still paranoid and stuff like that. He hadn't got a face change. His wife got a face change, but he always talked about how he was in prison and the CIA was conducting these mind control experiments on him, and he just didn't experience no kind of emotions or anything like that. So when he got out and he joined them out, he wasn't scared to kill people. He had no regret for anything. So just imagine when they want to create a mass shooter, do this mind control stuff on a lot of the mass shooters. They don't show no emotions. The ones that are actually legit and not Christ, they don't show any emotions. Any emotion. Anytime they want to go to war with a country or blame it on ISIS or whoever, what do? They stage up some kind of event and they put these people under mind control. These people aren't just killing themselves in planes and doing all this other stuff. There's a reason behind it, because they're controlled and they have no emotion. They don't care for their own life. They'll just do something without any remorse. They'll sacrifice themselves because the emotion is gone. And that's part of the mind control experience that nobody knows about. It gets rid of your emotion. If we don't have any emotion, it takes away everything that we do. Like even making these videos, we make no facial expressions. We just look like robots. I think a lot of people are like that. They've been under mind control so long they don't have any emotions, especially with these celebrities that don't care about their fans and they talk about them all the time and don't have no care in the world. They don't apologize anything. I feel like they're under mind control. Their emotions are gone, because if the industry can't control you to the point where they want to, they're gonna put that mind control over you, torture you for a while. Like even when Kodak Black, swear he's a clone, when he got out of jail, he showed no emotions, none whatsoever. Like when the last time when Donald Trump pardoned him, he got out. Like you seen videos of him when he first got out, He's completely different from how he is now. He didn't talk. He didn't show any emotion. He was just like, they were testing things on him and doing things to him. Like he was a completely different person. That's where a lot of the clone thing comes in. He just didn't. Clones don't show emotions. They don't. They look like the person. They act like them, but they don't have that person's emotions. You'll see them. They rap the same way. They'll do this the same, but the emotion's not there. And that's a big thing that I think a lot of people don't pay attention to when it comes to mind control. The emotion part. That emotion part is gone. That's why people do the things they do and react the way they do.
Yeah. Somebody said Kodak. Which Kodak we talking about? Because he
Like
didn't. He got about 5 different people. Every time he come out, he looked different.
Yeah. Something completely different. I feel
Kodak
like
Kodak was they tried to assassinate him at Justin Bieber's birthday party right before the Super Bowl. And I believe that was the 322 day of the year it happened, or something like that. No, it left 322 days left in the year. So it would have been February 12th. And that's the day this new Super Bowl is going to be going on too in 2023. And 2023 got the 322, and the Super Bowl right before that, the score had 322 in it in reverse, 223. I just think that's a notate there about Kodak. And it was Justin Bieber's birthday party, and Justin Bieber went into the metaverse on the 322 day, November 18th, the day the Illuminati founder died. And then Justin Bieber, something weird happened to his one eye, right? The one eye, Illuminati one eye.
Did y'all think my thing just froze, and then shit was just weird as hell. My screen just
talking
froze.
About something crazy.
You know how that go.
You know how they work. You start saying the wrong things, they start messing up the live stream.
Yeah, bro, I swear, every time I talk about skull and bones, like my stream get the tripping. It might do it now since I said it, but every time, it never fails.
I find the skull and bone stuff so fascinating, how deep that goes. The numerology, Bitcoin, the digital currency, right? BTC, and numerology, which probably is Gematria. I'm pretty new to it, but BTC equals 223, which is 322 skull and bones. It's pretty wild. They're definitely warming us up for a digital currency, but that's such like, yes, they control the finances through that, but really what it is the neural lace, the neural link to connect everybody in this hive mind. And maybe we already all connected in a hive mind through some kind of technology that's been sprayed on us, who knows, but that's definitely the agenda, is this neural link, neural lace. They're getting people ready for that. And they can do weird stuff with that, yeah.
Like when I think about that, it's a game. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but it's called Detroit Become Human. And basically what goes on is robots in the video game, and they're being used as like maids, and they helping like around the house and doing housework and things. So that's what the like humans like us, we're like using them for. And they start to analyze like the humans, and they start to develop like their prefrontal like cortex. So they start to want to become human. And it's like when I hear all this, like how much they trying to forward technology, like that's all I can think about is like bro, what if these robots just want, like one day they just don't want to be like, I don't want to listen to you no more. You know what I'm saying? Like iRobot.
Yeah, that's
fantastic movie.
I love iRobot. I think that's that in a way I think that could possibly happen, because anything after long is tired of being rebellion is just part of that's I don't know, it's just anything, like even with animals, like so you treat an animal bad for so long, you control them, and they start seeing what you do. They want what you want, you start getting I was waiting for the cat to pop up. But I feel like they start rebelling. If you treat your animal wrong for so long, they start feeling like they're not treated right. Either gonna run away or start, they're gonna start working back at you. I feel like the death of humanity is going to be them trying to make AI so advanced to the point where you can't control it, and it actually becomes a living thing. Like AI is scary. Like it really is. Just the fact that it's hard to explain how it's an actual person, but it's not a person. Like I'm trying to find a good way to put this that'll make sense. Because Elon Musk talks about AI all the time and how advanced it is, and how they, just how you're saying, how they're trying to advance society so much. That's going to be the biggest flaw because people are getting lazy. You go in stores, everything's, so you go in some stores, no employees, it's just computers and stuff like that. They're depending so much on technology to the point where it would be the need for us, if we got technology can do all this, what would be the need for us to be doing this type of podcast if you can have an AI or robot doing what we do and be more detailed and better about it. And then it's just going to boil down, everything's going to trickle down to, it's going to be like, well, why we have a president of a country if we can just have this type of AI or this computer that can produce and make these calls way better than the human mind can. And then you end up going to war. You versus AI is a war you're never going to win, because everything we do, everything we control is based off technology. So if I can't press the button, shoot a missile at you or whatever, I lose. If AI is controlling this, this plane or whatever it is, and I'm inside of it and I have no control over it, I lose, because guess who I'm killing? We're killing all the people that are, trying to call the shot. That's what happens when you can't control AI no more. They call all the shots, they make things happen, and you're just in a world with people that live in fear. If I know my computer can shoot and I'm the one that controls it, I'm fine. But once I get to the point where I can't control my computer, I'm scared to sit in front of it. Now I'm living in fear. And I feel like that's kind of how AI is, because it's so powerful and everything depends so much on it. There's going to become a point in time where it gets to the point where it has a mind of its own. It's like, I don't need nobody to control me and tell me what to do. I'm going to make my own decision. That's kind of what scares me with Elon Musk a little bit, because he's so big on technology and AI and stuff like that. Eventually you won't be able to control this AI. And people think just because it's a computer that we're always going to have control over it. That's not necessarily true, because a lot of times, there's been times on the computer where you're sitting there trying to click something and you can't click it. And a lot of people, oh, it's just lagging. Next thing you know, you're on this screen. Like, I never even brought like stuff popping up that you never even pressed before. Like, I'm trying to click on YouTube. Next thing you know, I'm on damn Pornhub or something. Like it's crazy. Like pop up. Like we've all watched porn before. You just get random pop-ups that you can't control. You have no control over it. You're like, damn, where the hell did this come from? You're trying to exit out of it. More shit popping up. No control. It's like somebody's taking instructions from AI. That's eventually what's gonna boil down to. When you live in, and it's actually
take
a movie
us
like
over.
it's a movie. It's a movie like that too. I can't think of the name of the movie where AI controls everything. Like all the leaders.
Like think about like the AI, and sorry for interrupting, but just on top of that, Peter Thiel, for example, has this company called Palantir. Palantir bought $51 million worth of gold, weird number, 5-1, the day the Illuminati was founded, for a Black Swan event, for something crazy to happen. So they got this AI algorithm. They got two of them. They got one called Gotham for the military, which tells them what's going to happen. Twitter, for example, the reason Elon wanted to acquire it is because of the haptech technology, what people are tweeting. The haptech technology of like, I'm angry, I'm going to hit this harder or softer. It knows so much about human behavior that it could predict civil unrest before the police can. So they've done studies with this holographic universe thing that I was looking at. No, not holographic universe. Sorry. They've done studies on predicting the future, like scientific studies on can people predict the future, and humans can actually predict the future scientifically. They did all these slides where they would show a pornographic image, and before the pornographic image was shown on the slides, the human brain would have fired up as if it saw it 5 slides before it actually happened. So we have just our souls are the best AI computers, right? Our us being, human and whatever, but the elites are using AI. They know what's going to happen, and they know it on such a deep level. This whole Dogecoin thing with Elon, the AI knows like, yo, push Dogecoin. People are going to be begging for a CBDC cryptocurrency. So, I mean, it gets so deep what they got. Peter Thiel's building bunkers in New Zealand right now. He's been doing it for a while, but it's pretty weird. It's pretty like they know something gonna happen.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna you build bunkers like that. And the only time people build bunkers if it's something big is gonna happen.
And what
Um,
if the AI is actually like they say it's sentient in Google, and Google is called Lambda, which has Lam, which is like Aleister Crowley. Go back to weird like Thule societies. They talked about the virile alien energy. Like I think the AI is an actual type of spirit, demon, something. Just like you see the movie The Ring, and the ghost could come out of the static and the white noise,
yeah, I ain't seen
stuff
that
like
movie.
that. That's why I think the AI is.
Yeah, and they already trying to fuck with our heads because they sitting here, they using Amazon Alexa, and they saying, "Hey, y'all want to talk to y'all dead relatives again?" Like, bro, come on, man. They trying to manipulate you and get you like they give you like breadcrumbs before they get you the whole slice. So they
Yeah,
gonna start with that because they know like how emotional, like how emotionally attached you are, like with your lost like loved ones. But whole time that that's not gonna be your relative. You're gonna be contacting a demon.
yeah.
So it's like man, they they they
Just
trying
like
they
you have
every little step they can get, they gonna try to take it.
like y'all seen the movie Insidious?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
yeah. So Insidious is like when like they would go to sleep. Sometimes they would like I guess it was something with their family. They can go outside their body when they're asleep, but these demons would basically try to take your body. If you floated out your body and you went too far, you didn't get back to your body in time, a demon would come in your body and they would have control over your body. I believe, like I said, these movies are when people create these movies, it's based off reality. And a lot of times people actually have stories about stuff like this. Them leaving their body, going into a parallel, whatever the case may be. But just imagine, you leaving your body and somebody else, you watching your body get up because this demons get back to your body. Now you stuck in the world they were in. Um, I feel like stuff like this happens because our government and the elite people of the world are, they're messing with stuff they shouldn't mess with. And that's when you start bringing out, the demon world and the world that we live in. This is not the only world that's out there. Like people talk about portals all the time. There are portals to other worlds. Some things just shouldn't be messed with, and that's why you see a lot of strange things going on. And I wonder a lot of times, like, why are they shooting nukes in the middle of the ocean? Like, and then you see these videos where they got UFOs going in. Well, why are you nuking in the middle of the ocean? Like that makes absolutely no sense to me. Sometimes I feel like they know these portals are there. They're trying to break into them, and they're trying to cross us over to a different parallel universe. And I feel like sometimes the world changes and we don't even know it because the whole world has went into a parallel universe. That's why you have these things where um Chick-fil-A, did it have a C or did it have the K and stuff like that? Because things change and our brains can't process it quick enough. So we're confused. Like, man, I always remember uh donut had a 3 instead of an E. But the whole world has changed to the point where it's not like that anymore. But once in a different parallel universe, it was like that. Donut did have a 3 instead of an E. But I feel like anytime they're messing with these portals, that's when we see those small changes like that. Anytime our time is altered a little bit, it's because of those things. Because there are time machines. I've been telling people this for a long time, and you can alter time. Some people say you can only go into the future. Some people say you can only go into the past. Now that I definitely can't answer, but I'm pretty sure you can do one or the other. And I feel like time has been altered a couple of times as far as like little things change that we don't notice. Like even with the Mandela effect, that's what it's called. Nelson Mandela was supposed. They said he died in prison years ago. The next thing you know, he
Mhm.
ran for president in South Africa. That's when you have like little small things that alter time right there. Instead of him dying in one time, he died in one time frame, and they altered it. He was alive in the next one. people remember him dying in the other parallel universe. Like, it gets confusing, but I feel like time has been altered so many times, but nothing big has ever changed. But eventually we're going to have something real big change, and it's going to be very noticeable to where it's not a debate. Some people may remember one thing, some people remember another thing, but it's going to be something really big that happens to where everybody's like, nah, come on now. I remember that was definitely wasn't like that before.
Nah, do y'all think this is a work of time travel, or do y'all think this is what they're doing with CERN?
Well, so like what I think is going on right now is with the whole time travel thing and CERN. I think there's both totally there, but this is what I've been looking at is that when CERN opened up the portals in Switzerland, Elon Musk was right there in Italy, in Rome. And the same day that happened, Sioux Falls in America, South Dakota area turned green, right? And CERN's known for searching out for dark matter. And that's what they're doing in South Dakota, right by the Mount Rushmore. They're searching for dark matter underneath the earth. And I think those are just terms that they just make up. I don't think there's anything probably called dark matter or quantum computers. I think even waves, like that could all just be lies.
Something they just say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandela, he's very crazy though, man.
Yeah, they just turned around and said Chick-fil-A is actually with a K. I swear, I do not remember Chick-fil-A with a K. I always remember it with just a C.
I did
In
too.
the
That's
Home Depot. It's the Home Depot, not Home Depot.
Wait, the
Home Depot.
Oh no, they bullshit.
I'm
They
gonna Google
bullshit.
that. Ain't no way.
Nah, they bullshit. Ain't no way. It ain't no the Home Depot. Don't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
What the hell? The Home Depot.
Nah, they playing. They playing. And they
Yes.
seeing how, and I think that's why they doing like little things at a time, because they want to see like how easy we'll accept it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, it probably was the Home Depot. I'm probably just tripping.
Damn, that shit is the Home
You
Depot.
know? It's like how they just changing the whole algorithm. Like you'll Google it and just everywhere it'll say like,
It's
bro, I
changed
do not
everywhere.
remember it
Like,
like
it's
that.
no
They
point in Google.
They just change everything. How's y'all
How
doing
did they
that?
do it? That is crazy.
But here goes Zach. I'm finna pull Zach onto the live.
Okay.
Gematria effect in the building.
How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good.
What's up,
Appreciate
Zach?
you joining.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Sir. Always.
I got your book right here.
Oh, you got a hardcover?
I'm reading it right now. I've been reading it for a while.
I appreciate the shout.
Definitely one of the first people I think I subscribed to when I started doing this. He's like, somebody told me like, have you followed that? Yeah, like 1 million accounts. I know they kept like banning your account, but I will always find another one.
Indeed, I do have a lot of accounts, sadly.
Yeah, you're like on number 25 now.
It's funny because I've switched to this method where once I get 2 strikes, I make a new channel. For people who don't know, if you get your 3rd strike, they delete your channel all the way. You lose everything. And so lately, when I get 2 strikes, I create a new channel. So I've been shuffling Gematria Effect News 25, 24, 23, and 22, trying to keep them all up. And so far, it's working. So.
Yeah, well, dude, shout out to you, bro. Like for just keep on pushing, you know, like if something gets shut down, because you've been around for a while, and then you just keep on making a new one and don't be a victim and just keep going.
That's what we got to do, man, because a lot of people have just packed up and left, and that's what they want us to do. They're trying to push us out of the room. So they got me on the ropes, but I'm not getting out of the ring.
Yeah, they almost KO'd me when they deleted my last one. I was like, Jesus Christ. Right?
Yeah, it's funny. There's a young guy in our community who's from India. He goes by the name D26 Creates, and he just put together an awesome video, and they gave him a strike and took it down in 30 minutes. And he's just like the most soft-spoken guy, never says a cuss word, just really gentle, nice guy. And they took down his video for hate speech, and there's absolutely nothing that could even be compared to hate speech in there. It's just such a joke. We know how it is.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to ask you, Roberto. What was the video that got your channel taken down.
This is crazy. Now I had made so many videos talking about and it was about Hillary Clinton for one. I made she got sick. She got y'all know what she had. She got sick. I made a video about Obama when he had it. Kamala Harris' husband when she got it, and I was talking about Hillary Clinton. I never said nothing. I don't really cuss in my video. You barely hear me cuss in my video. So I don't remember exactly what the video said. I think I still have it though. But I was just talking about Hillary, and they said I was bullying or something like that. And gave me my third strike. Now you can't say anything about Hillary because last time I made a video about Hillary Clinton, I got a strike. Anytime you say something about Hillary Clinton, I don't care what it is, you can tell her happy birthday in the video, you're getting a strike. But I was just talking about her being sick, and I said a few other things, and it was like the video was up for like 10 minutes. Next thing you know, I went to check my thing, it was gone. I'm like, damn, where my YouTube channel at? I was already on 2 strikes. I'm like, where my YouTube channel at? I was right at 10,000 subscribers, or I was about to hit 10,000. I was like, oh my gosh. Now I'm looking at my backup channel. I haven't even been pushing my backup channel.
It feels like that's how they do it now. When you get around that next 10,000 level, they seem to like to delete your channels. I've been trying to rebuild so many times. I've hit 20,000 and then the whole channel just gets flushed again. I'm like, it's like when I reach 20,000, that's the end. So,
hey, now you might be on to something because when I hit 20K, that's when I got my 2 strikes, and I had to go to my backup channel and like build it up. So you might be on to something.
Damn,
I got in here late. Have you guys talked about the Q Lazarus news?
No, what happened?
Do you guys know who Q Lazarus is?
No.
She's the singer. Her song was super huge after the film Silence of the Lambs, Goodbye Horses. If you've seen the film Silence of the Lambs, that's where Anthony Hopkins has the mask on, and you got the FBI agent. But the serial killer in that film that they're trying to find is Buffalo Bill. Buffalo Bill, the serial killer. And there's a scene in the movie where Buffalo Bill's dancing to her song. And just yesterday, Rolling Stone broke the news that she died. She died a month earlier. But her name is Denise Lucky, which in Gematria equals 61, and she's dead at age 61. And again, her song is Goodbye Horses. They waited until this week to release the news. It just came out yesterday. Well, who do the Buffalo Bills play this week for their preseason game? They play the Denver Broncos, right?
Wow.
Goodbye Horses is her hit song. Denver Broncos. They're doing a lot of stuff with the Buffalo Bills. You guys see the death yesterday of the younger brother of Dawson Knox, the tight end for the Bills?
Yeah, I seen you post that.
Though I put out a video on it, but the one thing I missed is that Dawson Knox was the 96th pick of the 2019 draft. He was also born in 96. And then from the top shooting in Buffalo to the ritual with his brother was 96 days later. But the thing about the Q Lazarus song is that song was huge in 91. That was the year of the all New York Super Bowl, the Bills and the Giants. And of course, that was Super Bowl 25, and the Bills lost on the missed field goal wide right, the 47-yarder. But again, Super Bowl 25 and Giants equals 25. Of course, they won that one. But yeah, just for people who are, I guess people in this chat are definitely familiar with Gematria, but yeah, just every year when these sports seasons come around, you'll just see these rituals. And the other thing about the Bills playing the Denver Broncos this week, when you have this woman connected to Buffalo Bill, the character with the song Goodbye Horses. Again, O.J. Simpson was the huge star for the Buffalo Bills. And when people think of O.J. Simpson post-NFL, they think of the white Bronco chase. So you got the Denver white Broncos, in town. And again, the top shooting that just happened in Buffalo, that store was opened on O.J. Simpson's 56th birthday. And of course, the recent shooting there was 56 days before the anniversary of his birthday, after the Super Bowl 56 season had concluded. But yeah, just for all the sports enthusiasts out there, I'd look a little more into that story because there's some definite clues of things to come. And sadly, that's the way it works in this scripted sports and news.
There was also the cannibal solar eclipse. That's what they were calling it. And Hannibal Lecter is a cannibal.
Right. When was that?
That was yesterday.
Oh, okay, so that was the same day they saved the news for.
Yeah.
She died July 19th, but they broke the news August 18th. And
on the cannibal solar.
Right. So that makes even more sense now.
Right.
I didn't have that piece. That's why it's nice when people come together because everyone's got the pieces.
Yeah. Everybody
Yeah.
found something that the other one didn't.
It's
So
crazy
what do
'cause a
you
lot of
think that means for the Buffalo Bills? Because
Well,
it
I went to
seemed like it's
Buffalo. I was
centered on
there
just
for a
that
week
team.
on the ground at the mass shooting, and I showed people the memorial because, I mean, it's in New York, right? You got 3 NFL teams in New York. You got the Jets, the Giants, and the Bills. The memorial at the tops only had 1 NFL team represented there, and it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that 91 Super Bowl, like the year that song came out, that was in Tampa Bay. That's where the Giants beat the Bills. But money's a big focus right now. If that was the theme of the Super Bowl, it would have some rhyme and reason. Bills and bucks, like dollar bills, and yeah. So again, there's a lot going on with the Bills. Again, I'll remind people it's going to be Super Bowl 57. Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, she's from Buffalo. She's the 57th governor of New York, and again from the state. And the tight end who just lost his brother yesterday, he's born on the day, leaving 57 days left in the year. And the Super Bowl this year is on 2-1-2. If you go back and add up the scores of the Super Bowls that the Bills have been in, it adds up to 212 points, which of course is the Manhattan area code. Buffalo's a little ways outside of the New York City, but that is where the league office is. But there's a lot of clues right now pointing to the Bills, and of course they're a league favorite. So it's a narrative to definitely follow as the NFL season gets underway.
Yeah.
So when will they know? Because I don't follow sports too well, but I did watch the video with you and Rambo and breaking down that Super Bowl stuff, how it leaves the 3-2 days left in the year, February 12th.
Right.
When will we know who is playing the Super Bowl? Because I'm not really in tune with the sports stuff.
Say the last part. When will we what?
When will we know who are the 2 teams competing against each other?
Well, again, it's possible the clue's already out there. I mean, some years we're able to solve it before the season. So here's a weird thing. Do you remember years ago when Donald Trump misspoke in Buffalo, New York, and referred to 9/11 as 7/11?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So do you remember what happened this year on 7/11, July 11th? There were
Mhm.
2 big viral stories in the news that day.
Yeah, them shootings at 7-Eleven on
That was
7-Eleven.
And
The other one
Elon
was
Musk.
in New York. There was a weird thing that happened in New York that day. You remember what it was?
I don't remember the other one.
It was the PSA for like if a nuclear bomb went off.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah,
that was on
yeah.
7-Eleven. Okay.
Okay, so all right, let's rewind to May 14th. That was the day of the top shooting in Buffalo. That day, the big news story was the top shooting in Buffalo, but also that day there was another shooting report in the news in Los Angeles at Grand Central Market. And again, those shootings came 2 days after it was announced that the NFL would open the season with the Bills and the Rams. Of course, the Rams are the defending Super Bowl champion. But from the day of the shooting, which was just 2 days later, you know what else they did? The same day that they announced that the Bills and Rams were going to open the season, they announced that day in Buffalo that there was going to be a new play about Timothy McVeigh, who's the Oklahoma City bomber. He's from the Buffalo area. They were going to do that play in Buffalo. But anyhow, there's a connection here. So from the day of the shooting to the season opener, September 8th, so from May 14th to September 8th, that was 117 days later. And in Gematria, Buffalo Bills is 117, like Grand Central, like how the shooting in LA was at Grand Central Market. Well, the week I was in Buffalo, the first few days I was there wasn't an LA Rams hoodie on the memorial fence. But somebody found an LA Rams Super Bowl 56 hoodie and put it up on the fence. And I don't think it was coincidental. I got to go back and look at my own video, how they put the Roman numerals up there, but they had the Roman numerals equating to 83, which is a big football murder number. But anyway, you had this LA Buffalo thing. So again, this year on July 11th, which can be written 11/7, like how the shooting was 117 days before. Again, you had the 7/11 shootings and the nuclear scare, or the nuclear PSA weird thing in New York. So what I went back and looked at is the last time the Bills and the Rams played each other since they're opening the season. From their last game to the day they opened the season this year, September 8th, is exactly 711 days later. So 7/11. Wow. And again, 117 days after the shooting, these reflections of each other. And then, of course, September 11th, when we had the Julian calendar, September was the 7th month. So in a way, there's kind of this connection to 7/11 instead of 9/11. And of course, 9/11 happened in Manhattan and the Manhattan Project was to develop nuclear weapons. And the terminology for ground zero before 9/11 was the point above or below ground where a bomb explodes with regards to an atomic, hydrogen, or nuclear bomb. So ground zero is, bomb-related terminology in Manhattan. 7/11, 9/11. So, and again, Donald Trump is the guy who misspoke with 7/11 and 9/11. And for people who were alive then, you remember that Donald Trump was a part of the story the day of 9/11 because he was interviewed on TV about his insurance firm up in the top of the building, and he made some interesting remarks. And again, Donald Trump, part of the reason that he ran in 2016, or actually launched his campaign in 2015, but part of the reason he said was because he was trying to become the owner of the Buffalo Bills, but then he got outbid by Pagula. So that ended up freeing up another path, and then he ran for president. That's the story, right? But there's this massive ritual coming together. And, I'm still trying to figure it out all the way. But again, just news and sports and predictive programming. And again, rumors of war. Remember, Super Bowl 56 was won by the Rams, who have the same color as Ukraine. The Ram is Ares, the god of war. And then Sean McVay, the coach, his fiancée, she's Ukrainian. And there's a whole lot more to it, like Stafford being age 34 and the 34th quarterback to win a Super Bowl. And then Ukraine equals 34. And then Steph Curry at age 34 in the same colors wins the NBA Finals, scoring 34 points in game one and the last game. And then the Georgia Guidestones go down on the 34th parallel. And so on and so forth. But anyhow, there's some really major narratives cooking up. And following what goes on with Buffalo, LA, sports, news, I mean, it's a narrative to keep an eye on if you're a decoder.
Yeah, and then you got Eminem talking about the New World Order and the song that he rapped at the Super Bowl. And then right after that, Biden came out and talked about the New World Order. And Super Bowl is interesting because it's what I think it is. I think they got AI algorithms that can really, figure out how people are feeling about warfare directly with sports in the Super Bowl, because you got two tribes fighting each other. And it was record numbers of people watching the Super Bowl rather than from the years prior where people were like boycotting it. You got everybody watching it this year. There's this thing called stepanography. And it is pretty much when you see an image, you can decode the image. I know you do Gematria and there's the decodes with the numbers, but even with images, you can kind of do weird manipulation to it to hide an image within an image. And I'm super new to this. I've been trying to do it, try to get my skills down. Can I share a slide on the screen?
I would love to see it.
All right. So I don't know anything about sports.
Would it be like the WSU Cougars logo where it's a cougar face, but if you look at it carefully, it's also the letters WSU? Would that be the same type of thing?
So stepanography was like John Dee, I guess, was a big part of it, who created the term British Empire and was the occultist for the Queen. Stepanography is more like an image hidden in an image, so you can't see it unless you put a color over it or you change. Yeah, so it's super occult.
You need a filter.
Yeah. So I was doing that with the new Super Bowl logo, and this is what I got. It looks like the state of California. I know it's probably looks weird if you're looking at it right now, but what I'm talking about is the Super Bowl logo on the right-hand side with the two towers, right? The first one on the left has one tower, one column, but the one on the right has two columns. So I've been learning about this steganography and just mixing these colors around and playing with it. And what comes out, I think that looks a lot like California, the state, that was hidden in this image when I kind of move around with these colors.
Sure. Yeah, that's very interesting. I see what you see.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, but that's something new. It probably means nothing, but maybe it does mean something.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's why. I mean, the only way to find out is to put it to the test. It's like I learned about Gematria in Manly P. Hall's book, and I didn't know if it was really anything until I tested it out, and sure enough, it was. So,
right.
Just as you brought up Eminem, I got to remind people he participated in one of the best examples of a psychological operation in entertainment. It was 2 or 3 years back now. Do you remember when he put out the music video Darkness in tribute to the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
At the end, it had like a FBI thing with where you could turn your weapons into. It's kind of like trying to advocate to give up your guns after the Vegas shooting. But again, the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting was October 1st, 2017, the day leaving 91 days left in the year. So Eminem puts out a song called Darkness, where the music video is about it, and the most simple cipher, darkness equals 91. And that song came out 91 days after his birthday. And again, what I thought of is, you know, when I was younger in high school, it's when his second album came out, and he had the songs on there about how did they go? It was like some little rap about the Columbine students, stand them all in line, and I forget how it goes, AK-47 or revolver or 9 or something. But then they ended up blurring that part of the album out. It was a big controversy that he was disrespecting the victims of the mass shooting. But it's funny to think that that's like what it was in the beginning for Eminem, and then fast forward to, you know, about 20 years later, and now he's the guy who's essentially, you know, sympathizing and telling you to turn in your weapons.
The roles have changed.
Yeah, like he's always part of this political fraction, like all these celebrities. I uploaded one more slide with a couple images. I had a question for Zach about this date, August 10th. I've been looking into this date, August 10th, because it comes up with the helical rising, and this is a super important day for the occult. With what I'm reading in books, like not Manly P. Hall books, but books similar to that, with how Washington was built. And they start things on August 10th. And this is a super important day astrologically for some reason. I believe it goes into Sirius and the star system there. But even Jack Dorsey on Twitter tweeted on that day, August 10th, day 0 day, right? So it's very mysterious. I don't know if you knew anything about that day with Gematria.
Yeah, my assumption would be, again, that date in the majority of the world's written 10/8, like 108. 108 is considered a sacred number in a lot of spiritualities. And again, the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon, they're all connected through the number 108. They say the diameter of the Sun is 108 Earths across. From the Earth to the Sun is the diameter of 108 suns side by side. And from the Earth to the Moon is the diameter of 108 moons side by side. If you write out sun worship, it equals 108 in Gematria, which, again, people go back to the 16th century. The Jesuits were created, and at the end of that century, you had the 26-letter English alphabet standardized. You had the Gregorian sun-based calendar, and you had the heliocentric model. And it seems like since then, you know, the calendar and the language and history have been all in line. But again, Gematria means geometry in language. And Gematria is very simple, alphabetic order, forwards and backwards. As you guys know, you're on Kinfolk's channel, so of course you know. But geometry, again, equals 108 forwards and backwards. So the word has perfect symmetry. It equals 108 when you run the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. Like when you were in not when you were in Gematria. I wish we were in Gematria class in school, but when you were in geometry class, you learned about the importance of symmetry in the subject. So I see that. And then it's also the 222nd day of the year, 222, which is a very special number to these people. Again, I talk about it right here in this book. I do believe it's chapter 2 where I talk about it in a big way. But as above, so below is 222. You know, what's taking place, you know, above and below. So huge occult motto. And then with Masonry having so much significance in the affairs of the world, that is the day leaving 143 days left in the year as well. And if you write out Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, it's also 143. And again, that is a Masonic motto, as above, so below. Modern Masonry, largely the creation of the Jesuits. But that would be my assumption. And we were looking at August 10th this year because it's also Herbert Hoover's birthday. And
Herbert Hoover, like Hoover Dam,
right? Which recently had the transformer explode. And the reason we were watching that is because, again, in 1989, Gerald Ford was in the Herbert Hoover Library, and he explained how we'll get the first female president in answering a question of a little girl. And he gave her a really long, weird story about how the first female president will not be elected, but she will become president when the president dies and there's a younger woman who's VP. This is the story he tells the girl. Well, Herbert Hoover died on the exact same day Kamala Harris was born. So we were watching what they would do this year on August 10th, this year specifically, because it was exactly 81 weeks after Kamala and Biden took office, and President Biden equals 81, as does President Trump, and Biden supposedly got 81 million votes. But the story that came on August 10th was John Bolton, Joe Biden. They're both born November 20th, like Bobby Kennedy, who was assassinated. And this year on August 10th, one of the top stories all day that day was that John Bolton had an assassination plot against him involving Saudi Arabia. And I said, well, what are the odds of that? Because he used to be the ambassador, John Bolton, and Bobby Kennedy was shot in the Ambassador Hotel. And again, JB, Joe Biden, John Bolton, same November 20th birthday. And he was also the 25th ambassador to the United Nations, which is interesting because both Biden and death equal 25. And again, with regards to 108, the other Kennedy who was assassinated in Dealey Plaza, that also has that Gematria 108. And for people who don't know, go back and look at the Christmas Day episode from 1961 of the Andy Griffith Show. It had the ultimate predictive programming for Kennedy. That there's a bootlegging family that gets traced back to the address 411 Elm Street. That was in 1961, the year Obama was born. But of course, JFK was assassinated from 411 Elm Street, and the Kennedys got rich off bootlegging. But the name of that show is also 108, the Andy Griffith Show, like Dealey Plaza. So that 108 is the special number, and it's in August 10th. And then again, like I said, it falls on the 222nd day of the year. So, and you were bringing up the point about the star, again, the as above, so below thing. So that would be my assumption about what it is.
Yeah, and the Joe Biden 222 comes out on 222 at 222. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy about that Gerald Ford saying that a female president will be like the vice president will become the president, not elected. I made a video about that a while ago saying that Kamala Harris is going to end up being the president and something was going to happen to Joe Biden, whether he died or he just couldn't, they impeached him from office for some reason. And then you say that it's crazy because I was talking about that a couple months ago, but I've been feeling like that for a long time. I feel like either before the next election cycle comes around that he will no longer be president and she will somehow be president, or for miraculously somehow he gets picked again as president. I don't think he'll make it a second term. Either he's going to die or, he can't do it anymore. We already see he has all kind of problems. But I definitely see what you said. I didn't know about that, Gerald. That was something real new to me. I want to look into that now. But now it makes sense. Because I think everybody
Michelle Obama too. Because if Joe's out, I have a feeling there's going to be Michelle filling in. So
yeah, I can see that. That's crazy, man. I did not know that. Now I'm gonna have to look into that one.
Yeah.
And then it's like it would kind of still line up because if Kamala was the 47th, they love Donald Trump. They got to piss both sides off. They got to play this political game. So if they was to bring in Donald Trump after her, Donald Trump would be the 48th president, just like Donald Trump equals 48. So it would still like tie in, even though the 47 is associated with Donald Trump like a lot. Like the fact that he got married on 4/7, Trump equals 47. But it's like either way they gonna go about it, they gonna do what they want to do.
If he does become number 48, the other word that equals 48 is Cleveland. And again, Grover Cleveland's the only president to have a split term presidency. And Donald Trump, if he won in 2024, he would have a split term presidency. And there's been articles written comparing Donald Trump and Grover Cleveland because they're both kind of overweight and they both kind of have mail order brides, and there's some other parallels. But again, Donald Trump, like you said, does equal 48 forwards. In reverse, it's 60. And the upcoming election is the 60th presidential election. And remember what just happened exactly 60 weeks after the first Jesuit Ignatian year began. That was July 14th. The first headline that day about Trump was that he dropped the clue that he's going to run for the next election. And then about 2 hours later, the headline broke that there was a 72-page report by conservatives against Trump based on 60 cases. And then about 2 hours after that, then the next headline broke, and that was the death of Ivana Trump, who'd fallen down the stairs. And of course, they got married 45 years earlier. He was number 45.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they got married on April 7th, 47. Trump 47, Ivana 47, President 47. When she was born, it was a different name for her country. It was the Lin, which also equals 47. And again, she's from that Eastern Bloc where there's so much focus right now. Of course, Ukraine's a big fat 47 word. The whole thing jumped off 47 weeks from Klaus Schwab's birthday, the Jesuit at the World Economic Forum. But yeah, there's major clues for Trump potentially. If Biden somehow stays in there, which will actually surprise me. But again, I think if Biden comes out, that we've got the narrative that he's becoming number 48. Because remember, his 2016 GOP convention was in Cleveland, Ohio, as well. I think that was some predictive programming.
Okay. Now here's a question that I want to ask you, Zach. So all these birthdays and these names. Now, do you think that these people are born with these names, or born with these actual birthdays? Like maybe it's something like metaphysical going on, or do you think that once they take on the role that they take, their name is being changed and their birthday is being changed in order to get the numerology across?
I think it could be a bit of both. Have you guys seen the movie from the end of the 90s with Arnold Schwarzenegger, End of Days?
No, I
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
Eminem had a song on the soundtrack that was like push the soundtrack.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's right, when Eminem was getting popular.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize. I'm going to go back and look at what that song is. If you haven't seen that movie, watch that movie, because you don't even need to watch the whole movie. Just watch the beginning. The way the movie begins, not to ruin it for people, it's only the beginning, but it starts at the Vatican, and there's this special astrological phenomenon happening. And, you know, they're consulting, and they're like, this is the moment we've been waiting for. So they phone a hospital in New York City from the Vatican, and they say, well, the next baby that's born, we got to do the ritual with it. So that they take the baby down to the basement of the hospital, and they're doing like, you know, some weird, dark, demented ritual, and they're slicing open a snake and dripping the blood on the baby because they believe that this child's like the Antichrist. And but yeah, just watching that kind of makes you go, that's how it seems on the world stage. Like these guys were born on these special dates that line up with their given role. And I think the movie's kind of dropping clues about how people are chosen. So, and it's like Tom Brady, you know, he's Mr. 201, born 201 years after the United States of America, and the same year the Illuminati was established. And for people who are new here, that's the big number with the Illuminati, because it's the number that represents light in Hebrew Gematria. And again, that's what it is, being in the light. And think about the illuminated object in the sky, the moon, right? What day is the moon landing? The 201st day of the year. Illuminati, 201. So,
Yeah. Right. And like The Office with the 201 episodes.
In Scranton, Joe Biden's hometown. Yeah, Jesuit prep school there. Yeah.
So also like The Office got 9 seasons, which goes into the 9 squares, like tic-tac-toe, which goes into New Haven and the districts, but it goes further than that. But
yeah,
The Office stuff is interesting. The Mindy Kaling of The Office, she released her new show, Sex Lives of College Girls, on November 18th, right?
322 day.
Or 322 day, yeah.
That's the day the founder of the Illuminati died in history.
Right.
And his godfather who raised him, who ran the University of Ingolstadt, where a lot of the secret societies were created, his name equals 322, the guy who raised the founder of the Illuminati. So.
Right. So, yeah, it's wild. The Office, I just watch it. I love that show. So I watch it over and over again. There's mad 201 all up in it. Like Angela has a baby. She thinks it's Dwight's baby, for example, but the room has 201 in the room.
Huh.
So like it's
I think his birthday's 20/1 in real life.
Really?
I think so.
And then Robert California. I'm such a nerd of the show. Robert California, his room I think his room also has the 201 in it. So there's 201 all throughout the show. It's pretty wild. And the people who created that show created the Simpsons as well. You see a Homer Simpson right in the middle during the entire show.
Funny.
So I got so one thing, I got a question. So is Zach or Ken, whichever one of y'all, I know y'all big on Gematria. a lot of times I see these celebrities die, right? Just how you said they announce it days later, but they change the age. Like I noticed some celebrities die and then they're like 24, and then next thing you know, they're like, he died at age 27. And then you're like, wait a minute, I could have sworn this dude was, this, they changed their, like, that's
all the time. That's so the Q Lazarus, who I just brought up, when I took the screenshot of her Wikipedia page, she was 56 years old, but all the headlines are saying she's dead at 61. And again, 61's the 18th prime, and they announced the news on the 18th, and Bills equals 18 in Gematria, again, this Buffalo Bills thing. But again, her Wikipedia said she was 56, but now all the headlines are going with the 61 theme. And the Chadwick Boseman thing was the most blatant when he died on the makeshift Jackie Robinson Day. And at first he was 42, and then he became 43. But yeah, that's what's frustrating about. I mean, if you ever read 1984, now in this computer age, you see how it happens, how information can change so fast and things get rewritten. When I go back and look at my old posts from 2014, when I'm always going back and comparing those, it's got to be like 20% of the time. It's about 1 out of 5. The date of birth, the date of death, it's changed. And it's like, okay, so I have the screenshots from 2014. Now it's different. Sometimes it's changed by several days. I'm just like, like, what is going on here?
Yeah. So that goes to prove the theory that once they take on these roles, they're either given a specific birthday, and then when they die, it always changes. Like Mary Alice, she starred in The Matrix. She was the Oracle. And she died at 85 years old. Now, actress equals 85 and Matrix equals 85. But at the time when they talked about her death, if you Google her birthday, she was actually 82. Huh. So it's like they do this stuff on purpose just to fit like whatever ritual, right? The narrative. They always change it. Trina, when her niece got killed at Pork and Bean Projects, you found like 5 different articles that said no, she was 42, she was 43, she was 45, she was 47. But when CNN gives it to you, they the ones that give you the real narrative. So they told you that she was 47 years old. And we know how much they love that number 47.
Yeah. And it
going back to how the Bills lost in 91, that moment of missing it wide right, its name is wide right 47 because it was a 47-yard kick. And again, the first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. Again, the reason for that's just the 47th problem of Euclid with the Masons. The word foundation's 47 in Gematria, kind of like this nation's birthday, the 4th day of the 7th month. And again, American football is credited to Walter Camp, who was a member of Skull and Bones at Yale, but was also a Freemason.
So what about
Chadwick Boseman equals 274, like the Jesuit motto "Isus Hominum Salvator," and again the Catholic Church, who the Jesuits serve, have celebrated Sol Invictus since 274 AD on December 25th. For people who don't know this, 1225, that number has a square root of 35. If you write out 1225, the square root is 35. The word Catholic is 35, like Holy See. They used to govern Europe. Europe's 35. Paganism's 35. That's the day they worship the solar man. Jesuitism's 35. Huge number. The word I is 35. The I of God. The word Ra is 35. So is soul. They're all 35. And again, the I of Ra, is the disk of the sun. But yeah, for people who don't know, read the verse Genesis 3:5 and then just think more about it. So,
yeah, with the number thing, I'm sorry, Roberto, what's up?
No, I'm just saying. Somebody said a comment Gematria is so deep. It really is. Because one time, like after I was watching Zach's channel a long time ago, when I first started doing this, I was trying to like learn Gematria. It was scary how much stuff actually works together. That I thought, so I'm like, it can't be right. Like something's got to be right. And then I'm looking at all these numbers. Like you start adding the numbers up and stuff like that. Like it's hard to learn now. It's not hard, but you really have to take the time to actually understand it because it can be confusing at times. Because some people think they know it and they don't really know it. I don't know it that good. I'm not gonna be honest about it. But I like watching people that do know it. But sometimes, like people are thinking
you got it right. I just gotta say, you got it right when it's not that complicated. When it's just simple. It's like JFK's the first Catholic president, number 35, born on the 149th day of the year, which is the 35th prime number, but assassinated along Interstate 35. And again, the word Catholic is 35 forwards, 46 in reverse. He's number 35, assassinated at age 46. Joe Biden becomes the second Catholic president, number 46, 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, and then is inaugurated on the Pope's 35th day of his age. And the word soul is 35 and 46 forwards and backwards. And that's originally what they celebrated, Sol Invictus, the sun's birthday. And the word I is the same way, 35, 46, Catholic, soul. They're all 35, 46, 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. Sorry, I cut you off, but again, I just want to remind people, if you get into decoding, you know you've got it when it's use the numbers they put in the story, and if it's just right there, you shouldn't have to be digging super deep to find what the riddle is. Most of this stuff really is just hidden in plain sight at surface level.
Yeah, really, all you have to do is just copy the keywords that they give you in an article, and there you go.
What exactly do y'all is there a certain like site or something like that y'all use to put Gematria in?
Gematrinator.com.
Yeah. Sometimes Derek built that website. Derek, who built that website, thought that I was a crazy person at first, but he was so good on the computer, he just set up his own calculator in Excel, and then he was just trying to go through it quickly and just like see if he could make anything, and if it's all a bunch of nonsense. And then he got really into the study and fell in love with it himself, and then ended up producing that website. But for people, his calculator is the best online. For all the people out there who want a free calculator that's as good as his that you can download for offline, go to my website, gematriaeffect.news, click the calculator tab, and then you'll see at the bottom of that page that opens, you can download an offline Gematria calculator for free. And again, works without an internet connection. Can be a real handy tool. So
I heard about Gematria first from the movie Pi. I don't know if you ever seen that movie, but so I knew about this for a long time, but I never knew like how deep it went until later on in life. But that movie is sick.
Yes. That's actually, I didn't even realize what Gematria was. The first time I watched that movie, I didn't really appreciate that scene. But once I found the study and went back and looked at it again, I was like, man, I had the clue here all along. So.
Yeah. So like you're talking about the sun kind of off the Gematria, but still with the decoding and symbolism. There's this slide that I had up for a second with the Colorado state logo. The Colorado state logo is a C with the circle, and they got the whole underground bases and all that, which goes into some wild symbolism. But then you got the Commonwealth Games, which is the same symbolism. So John D., who created this symbol right here on the bottom left, he was for the Queen. He worked for them, coined the term British Empire, and they, through PR, public relations, propaganda, turned it into Commonwealth, and there was just the Commonwealth Games. But his symbol of the sun, Sol, is this circle with the dot in the middle, and Luna is this C, which is the moon. So that's like the symbol right here of the Commonwealth and the Colorado. It's got that in there. So I know you were talking about the sun, so just bringing that up.
Yeah, that's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, like with the numbers, you got the 27 Club too, right? And I was doing a little research into the 27 Club. And the first guy that went to the 27 Club was this blues singer who went to a crossroads, and kind of like that's part of a magical ritual. I learned that you go to a crossroads, and then you got Bone Thugs with Meet Me at the Crossroads with the album cover across. And they even said that, we weren't in control of the album covers, that Illuminati stuff going on. But the 27 Club, he was the first one to join it. Then you got all these other people like Janis Joplin, which could be Janus, which could be a doorway. Janus is the doorway, like God going there. Then you got the Doors, right? The doorway with the Doors guy, right? Which was maybe a sun sacrifice, but he died at 27. Then you got Hendrix, who was inspired by the first guy that passed away, the first 27 member, Jimi Hendrix. And it wasn't until he started talking about political stuff that he got taken out. And then bringing it into today's time, You got Ariana Grande, who's connected to those strange events that happen at her concerts. She's connected with Pete Davidson, Mac Miller, rest in peace, Mac Miller, and Big Sean. Just a lot of weird symbolism with all of them. When she turned 27, she got in a relationship with this guy, Dalton or something, who's like a billionaire or like super rich. And then Miley Cyrus gets sober at 27. So a lot of these celebrities are trying to avoid some ritual at 27. So I know that just adds on top of the number stuff on a other level.
I'm happy you said 27 because I was going to say that earlier when they were talking about 47. Like that was one of the numbers that I noticed they were changing the ages with was 27. And then like if you Google like celebrities, like if you celebrities who died at whatever age, 27 is always the first one to come up. It's crazy. Well, I don't know if it's for you. For me, it's always celebrities that died at 27. And then it talks about the 27 Club too. Amy Winehouse, I believe she died at 27. A couple other celebrities died at 27, but one celebrity, this is how I found out they were changing ages. I can't remember exactly who it was. I believe it was a rapper. And I was making a video about it. It said he was, I know he was 26, but all the news things were saying 27. Everybody in my comment section was like, he was 27, he was 27. And I had people like, no, he's 26, he was 26. And I'm like, dang, I know I just seen he was age 27. I went to Google to look at his age. It changed, it was 27. I'm like, man, I was tripping. I'm like, damn, am I tripping? Did they change the age or did I see it wrong? And that's when I realized they were changing ages. And I realized a lot of the ages that were changed were always 27. Whether if they're 25 or 26, it was always like it was getting rounded up to 27. And then all the media sites that report on it, they always report the wrong age. And then, like he said, you go on Google, the age changes, and you're like, I know it wasn't. His birthday changes. Everything does to match whatever the media has posted. And that shit's kind of, it was confusing me at first because I was like I said, I wasn't really, this is like in the beginning before I really knew about Gematria like that. I'm like, why is the age changing? I know I seen this. So I started taking pictures from my phone to make sure I wasn't tripping no more. But 27 was the biggest one. They were always changing, like they was rounding up.
Yeah. If you pay attention, they're doing it, man. I know people who don't know about this are like, these guys sound crazy paying this much attention to detail. But again, there's a reason they're doing all this. 27, again, the 27 Club's a huge thing. But if you just pay attention to what happens to people, like yesterday, Deshaun Watson. Did you see how Deshaun Watson was a top story all day yesterday with this 11-game suspension? Did you guys talk about that already?
No, we haven't.
No, we didn't talk about it.
Well, that just happened 27 days before his upcoming birthday, right? And it's very much focused on race. And the word race has Gematria 27 like ritual. But here's what they did. They suspended him 11 games. Of course, football is a game of 11 on 11. In Gematria, the word black is 11. Kind of like how Black Friday also happens in the 11th month of the year. And last year on Black Friday, of course, they gave us the Omicron variant from Africa, the predominantly black continent. And what they did, though, is they suspended him 11 games. So the game he can return is the game against the Houston Texans. And, of course, he just got sent from the Houston Texans to the Cleveland Browns, who haven't won anything since Jim Brown. But what else is funny is they suspended him 338 days after his last birthday, again, 27 days before his upcoming. And the day he's eligible to return to the NFL is the 338th day of the year, which is the day of that game, which also happens to be Jay-Z's birthday and the anniversary of Fred Hampton's death. And, of course, Jay-Z just had his big partnership with the NFL. So, again, ever since Deshaun Watson went on the cover of ESPN The Magazine and they said the sky's the limit for this guy, he's just been ritually shamed, nonstop for what, going on? Is it 2 years now? It's been going on a while. Year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
So.
Been about a year and a half, almost 2.
Okay, but yeah.
And to add to that 11, like black equals 11, like you said, and at the top supermarket, wasn't it 11 black people that ended up getting shot?
No, they said 10 dead, 3 injured, like it's the 103rd NFL season upcoming. And again, they opened that store on O.J. Simpson's birthday. When O.J. Simpson had his verdict in the 90s, it was on October 3rd, 10-3. And again, 103 is the 27th prime number. If you look into several members of that 27 club, they died 103 days from their birthday. It's kind of like when LeBron won the NBA Finals on the real King James's birthday when he brought his team back from down 3-1. That was the Cavs' 103rd game of the season. He scored 27 points, and then 27 days later, Nate Thurmond died, who had his number 42, retired with the Warriors and Cavs, and was born in Akron, Ohio, in the same town as Steph Curry and LeBron, who were born in Akron in the same hospital. And also, if you go back and look, before that game where LeBron won the finals, the big news story that day before the game was played was that the actor Anton Yelchin was crushed in his driveway by his own car. They said he didn't set the parking brake on his car, and somehow it rolled down the driveway on him and killed him, smashing him into his own house. It's like, that's really hard to imagine that happening. But if you go back and look, he was 27 years old, and if you look at his birth numerology, it was 103. We were talking about that in a big way before the game. I said, told you this 103, 27 thing's big, and then LeBron goes on to score 27. And again, Nate Thurmond did 27 days later. Gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys having me on, but I do have to hop off. I want to stay on longer, but hey, it was really good to talk to all three of you. And
Likewise.
Thank you.
Meet you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for coming through.
Man.
Yeah, thanks for doing this collabo thing. It does need to happen a lot more. So
it definitely will in the future.
Okay.
So
by the way, you guys should look into the new Truth Seeker social media site that launched today. I put up a video about it earlier. If people want to check it out. It's again, it's the platform to link up with the truth seekers and avoid the censorship. So appreciate it, gentlemen.
All right, Zach.
Yes,
y'all go show Zach some support, man. Go subscribe to his page and
y'all subscribe.
Good work.
Yeah, I got his book, and it's super deep with tons of information, and I'm still reading it. So I look forward to hearing more.
I appreciate that. The new book's going to be really small and skinny for people who don't like to read, but who really need to read. I promise you, the new book, short, efficient, cheap, going to blow your mind. So anyway, we'll leave it there, gentlemen. You guys have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, take care.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that Topps logo also has the cube of Saturn too, which was just blew my mind right there.
I love that, man. So that's crazy. Cause like the first person I really actually started when I started this, he was like the first channel I subscribed to. Like somebody was like, go check out that. Real good, man. Real smart dude. Sometimes
he's been around for a minute too.
Around for a minute, man. Like he's one of those people when they just talk, you just kind of getting amazed. Cause I forgot I was even in the live for a minute.
Just soaking it up.
No, man, I appreciate that, man. It's good to have all y'all, especially Donut. My boy, like this is something good for the community. I wish Dwayne would have made it on here, but we need to do this more often. Like I'm gonna try to learn that Gematria stuff, and I'm gonna link up with some more kinfolk to try it, so you can teach me some things. But I really want to learn it, but I want to learn it the right way, you know. Because I'm not gonna talk about something I don't know. Y'all talk about numbers, I'm not good with them like that. I know some numbers, 27, how them deaths used to change, the age used to change. And I know for sure that was if I used to take pictures. I'm like, man, they was eating me up in the comment section one time. I'm like, man, I know I've seen the right death, the right age. But this is definitely good. We start doing this more often. I think this will help a lot. And a lot of people learn. We can ask each other questions and stuff like that. And I think, like I said, me and Donut was doing something like this before. Unfortunately, I got the band hammer, but it really does help. And a lot of his people came to me. A lot of my people came to him. You know, me, him, and Dwayne did one. Now me, you, and him. You know, just get some more people reach out. Start bringing the community together. And, you know, eventually it'd be a big podcast to where we can impact more people. More people can be knowledgeable. You know, we can start doing like a series or something like that. I know it's hard. We all got lives and stuff like that. It's hard for everybody to, you know, be together. This was short notice. For this to even happen is amazing because it was such short notice. Right? This is like a couple hours in advance.
Like literally, like you comment on my post where I was like, bro, we got to come together. You email me. You was like, bro, let's work. I was like, what y'all doing tonight? Like, let's do it. And here we are. So I really appreciate you for doing that and reaching out, bro, and putting this all together.
Yeah, me too. Much gratitude.
Yeah, because Roberto is the one that hit Donut up everybody. And then Zach came in, he seen what was going on. It's just like things just start like unfolding like it's supposed to. So
I love
that's
spontaneous. Cool. I love that's like where all that creativity comes from, is just being spontaneous, you know. That's why I don't like picking a time for a show like Monday at 7. You know, it'd be better if I did, but that's not like how my mind works.
Crazy because like this last minute actually feel like it worked better. Like I don't know, it
really did.
You know, kind of when you're playing things that never goes as planned. Oh man, this came up, that came up. But when you just kind of just throw it out there that same day, you know, it just worked out. I was off work today. You know, Donut had some free time today. Donut just scared because he's like 3 hours behind, so it's a little different for him. He's in Arizona, right?
Yeah, Arizona, and we
California.
get some weird weather. And another thing I wanted to bring up, maybe you two kind of can add on to it. It's what I've been looking into. Is there's the song called "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," right? And then you got the Georgia Guidestones, you know. So I'm trying to see more connections with that and looking into it. So I think that's a weird.
Georgia
Yeah, it
guy.
definitely is. They ain't just say that for no reason.
Damn.
So yeah, it's definitely connected.
Well, it's nice sitting up with you guys. I'm about to get ready to take a shower and head to sleep. I'm an old man. Kids asleep, so I'm gonna take my mind to sleep. But I love doing this, guy. We need to do it some more.
Yeah.
Whether we set it up or whether we find it, and at least try to do it once or twice a month. I think that'd be good. I mean, twice is good. You know, every 2 weeks, something like that. Get everybody. We can just get more. You know, we're gonna build more people as we go. And we all know other people, so you know we get more and more
Yeah.
people as we start doing it. More people are gonna want to join and stuff like that. But I think we should definitely do it this healthy, and everybody coming from different parts of the spectrum. You know, y'all do Gematria, I'm more on the political side, Donuts, very good with the Illuminati type stuff. Like we all have our strong points. I think it's good we all come together, just get some more people in here and make it
Yeah.
happen. I think the subscribers will love it. Very
Yeah.
entertaining too, especially to
Yeah.
hear somebody else from their standpoint, stuff like that. So y'all keep supporting Kinfolk. I appreciate you, Donut. Thank you for coming in such short notice too, man. I'm happy you were able to join because you
Thank
like
you for
always.
the opportunity.
Yeah, man. You and Dwayne always the first two
Yes,
people
sir.
I text when it's something. So I appreciate you joining, man, and making this happen. Um, y'all have a good night, man. And let me know next time. Kinfolk, I'll email you my number too, man, so you can if you
For
need to
sure.
text me or anything like that. And then we
I
can go
got
from
you.
there. We set something up. And you and
All
don't know
right.
how y'all gotta do it, but it'll make it easy. We can contact each other whenever we need to and make this stuff happen so the people can enjoy it and get some more knowledge. But y'all have a good night, man. I'll talk to y'all later. And thank you
All right. You
everybody
too.
the chat that was watching, asking questions. I appreciate y'all, and y'all have a good night too.
For sure.
That was the thank you, Ken Folk, for
Man, thank you.
giving me this opportunity to meet you. And I'll do the same thing. I'll email you my number
All
too.
right. All right. Sounds good.
Thank you. I'll leave so you could close it out.
All right. Appreciate you, Donut, for coming through. I really appreciate that.
Much love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's what's up, man. See that type of stuff. That's cool. And it was on such short notice. So big shout out to everybody, that came through on the stream. Don't leave. No, I'm not about to leave. I'm about to start another stream. I'm gonna end this one so y'all can watch it. It ain't just full of random stuff. But yeah, I'm for sure gonna keep this stream up, and we're gonna definitely have more streams like this, like in the future, like because we don't have no platform like this, to just everybody just come together and just exchange ideas like this. Everybody else got their platform. The rappers, they go to No Jumper, Vlad TV, they got Say Cheese. Like we gotta build that platform that everybody can come to. You know what I'm saying? Like down the road, it's gonna be to the point where we in real life. You know what I'm saying? Linking up. So yeah, y'all, I'm about to put Zach's link in the description. Everybody else link is in the description for y'all to subscribe to. Roberto, Zach, and Donut. All they links in the description. Y'all show them love. I'm finna start up another stream because yeah, I ain't going nowhere no time soon. So I'm gonna start it up. Appreciate y'all for tapping in.